Well, happy Monday. I hope you're having a good day. I am still in Atlanta on the back deck of my in-laws. It's Friday. We're planning on leaving tomorrow. I sort of thought it was obvious that I was filming these a day or sometimes 2 days in advance, but I've been making phone calls to folks. We're trying to call everybody at Christ Church and check in to be sure they're okay. I was calling through my call list, and I've had a couple people say, wow, you must get up really early. So I just want to say, no, I'm doing these a day in advance. We're going to leave tomorrow, but I'm finishing up the first part of Philippians 2 today. Now, the heart of Philippians 2 is really what I say I'm finishing up. It's a call to selflessness, and I want to make another comment about that. I think of the heart of Philippians chapter 2 as this kenosis passage about Jesus and his dual nature and how he is how he humbles himself. But the essence of Jesus' example is to point out how we're supposed to live. So I want to read this passage to you again and just push one more time. Philippians 2:1, if there's any encouragement from being united in Christ, any comfort from his love, any sharing in the Spirit, if any tenderness and compassion, make my joy complete by being like-minded, having the same love, being one in spirit and of one mind. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourself, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others. Now, we've talked about unity, and we've talked about this spectrum I set up last time about selfishness, that, you've got at one end of the spectrum, you've got Ayn Rand and Nietzsche and others that argue, you should be about yourself, that's the highest way to live, and others, Jesus and others, saying, no, we should be selfless. This passage is calling us to be selfless. So I set that up. I just want to acknowledge two things here. One, you will always be fighting pride, because it is insidious. In the 7 Deadly Sins series that we did a few years ago, tried to establish that pride is perhaps the first sin. It lies underneath, sort of foundationally, below all the rest of the sins. It's so hard to get rid of. I remember working through this passage a few years ago and being struck by the Spirit of God, some pride in my life, and it was pride over my humility. And I could see it pretty obviously at that moment, and I was staggered by it and wanted to be repentant. But at the same time, I was actually pretty proud of how quickly I was being humble about my pride. And then I was struck by how I couldn't get around this. Like, I'm either proud or I'm humble, but I'm humble then, but I'm proud then of my humility. And it's like, Lord, I can't dig deep enough to get this out of my heart. So we're just going to have to recognize that's how we're wired and broken, and continually have a soft spirit before God. The second thing is, this passage, it calls on us to put the needs of others ahead of our own. This is the way forward. Now, I want to say, look, we are to value others above ourselves, not looking to our own interests, but each of us to the interests of others. I want to be cautious, because some of you are in abusive relationships and you get taken advantage of, and that's not healthy, and that's not what I'm advocating. You need to have good friends that can help you see if that's the case that is for you. But for some of you, quite honestly, one of the best things that could happen to you is if you got into a relationship where somebody took and you came out negative. You are serving and not getting, because that is the way forward. And by the way, it's not like in the collective scheme of things, you're net negative, because Jesus has absorbed so much of the junk from us. So there are times when absorbing somebody else's pain and junk is exactly the right thing that we should do. We should consider others above ourselves. I hope you do that today. Have a good day.